We are discussing entrepreneurship, and this is the second part of the video of our masterclass on entrepreneurship. As you know, I have been myself a serial entrepreneur. I have set up multiple companies, have seen successes and failures also. I have been a part of multiple startup networks, incubation cells where I mentor various startups and various entrepreneurs, and I have invested in startups as well. And with that experience, I'm going to share with you some thoughts, some ideas which will actually help you in your journey towards entrepreneurship, which will help you in setting up your company properly, which will help you in ensuring that your enterprise, the company that you are setting up, becomes successful. So watch this video till the end, because in the second part, I'm going to talk about the entrepreneurship journey of experienced professionals. In the first part, I spoke about the entrepreneurship journey of freshers, the new students who are getting into the area of entrepreneurship. And if you have not seen that, do watch that part also. And in this video, I'm going to cover about the journey of experienced professionals. Hi, my name is Anjani B. Kumar and welcome to my channel. So let's talk about experienced professionals. Now what happens is, and where they are different from freshers, is these people have already seen a company very closely by working there for multiple years. They know how businesses are built. They have been a part of this whole process of running businesses in various capacities. So that's why there is a certain amount of experience, knowledge that they have, which they feel can be utilized in setting up their own startup, in their own journey towards entrepreneurship. When they want to turn entrepreneur, they feel that all this whole experience could be very useful. They have earned certain amount of money also by working in the corporate sector, and if they have been successful, obviously they would have saved something for themselves. And thirdly, what also happens is that over a period when one is working in the corporate world, then you start realizing that at some stage it's very important to probably do something on your own also. How long you will keep working for others? And that's why these people come out and they decide to set up something of their own. So these are some of the reasons, that's how they get into this journey of entrepreneurship. Now what also happens, and which is something which is very important for you to understand, and in my experience I have seen that when you are a part of a corporate and when you are working there, because it's a large company which is paying you good amount of money, you get used to this thing of getting your salary, a big fat check coming on the last day of the month. So which is a big relief in a way, because when you are going for the journey of entrepreneurship, this is not going to happen. You're not going to start earning from day one. So one has to be very, very, very prepared to face this kind of situation. And this is where I have seen a lot of people struggling, because initially there's a lot of excitement and where they jump onto the bandwagon of entrepreneurship, thinking that it's okay not to get that salary. But because the organization building process, setting up a company, a startup takes time, and not necessarily it starts paying you immediately. As you start spending 6 months, 1 year without salary, it becomes very tough for them to actually face that situation. And there 80% of the people, I've seen them go back to the corporate world. And this happens within 1 to 1.5 years itself. And this is real data. I have personally seen that. So that's one thing which happens. The second thing what also happens is, in the corporate world, you are used to working in a setup where there is a lot of support system. And if you are a senior professional, you have so many people reporting to you. You have, your other systems, your HR, admin, finance. Those people, they also help you in various aspects. But when you move out, there's nobody. You have to do everything on your own. And while at the level of thinking, when you're planning things, you feel it's okay. But when you actually move out, this becomes extremely difficult, because as we move up in the corporate ladder, we are normally not very hands-on. But when you get onto the journey of entrepreneurship, you have to be hands-on. There is no other way. There is no support system. So that's the other place where I have seen people facing challenges and which needs to be kept in mind. And the third thing which also happens is, and where I've seen a lot of people struggling later on, is in the corporate world, if you're working for a good company, a good multinational or a large Indian company, your position power, the power of the chair that you are holding is very high. You are extremely powerful, you are respected, and everybody actually looks up to you. But the day you are out and you move that chair apart, suddenly you're nobody. And are you ready to face that situation? That's the third part, where while I've seen people saying, yes, I'm prepared to face this kind of situation, but when they actually go out and nobody cares for them, they find it extremely difficult to handle. So these are the three areas where you have to keep in mind before you actually get onto the journey of entrepreneurship. First, in terms of not being able to earn money at that level immediately, at least for some time. Second, you are not having the support system. And third, losing the position power that you have in the corporate world. And only people who are actually prepared to face these three areas become successful. So for every experienced corporate professional who is jumping onto the bandwagon of entrepreneurship, who has a desire to become an entrepreneur, set up a corporation, you have to keep these three things in mind before you actually jump out and start doing something of your own. Now let's come back to this whole analysis of the three parts that I discussed in the first part of the video also: the idea, the money part, and the organization building process. So first, talking about the idea itself. Now, vis-a-vis freshers, I think here when we are talking about the experienced professionals, they are more realistic. While they are also excited about their idea and all that stuff, but still, because they come from businesses which are running for so many years, they are more realistic in understanding the possibility of that idea turning into a business. And that's why here, once they've actually come out of the other three challenges that I spoke about earlier, I think more or less people are very focused, structured. They understand that they have to convert their idea into a business proposition. The business proposition has to start earning money. Somebody should be willing to pay for that. So they are more real as far as this thing is concerned. But here also, I think when you actually go out in the market asking for money for the product or service that you have created, if you're not from a sales domain, you will face challenges. And you have to keep that in mind. Because while you are a part of an organization, normally we take salespeople for granted. We think that that's their job and they keep getting money for the company. But that's not an easy job. That's the most difficult job, in fact. And I've personally done that, so I know how difficult it is. So I think it's always advisable to have some understanding of selling before you actually get onto becoming an entrepreneur. So keep that in mind, because ultimately you have to make somebody pay for your product or service. And in the initial stage, you're the person who has to go and sell because it's your company. So that's why the skill is extremely critical. So your idea can be realistic, but that has to convert, that has to be sold properly, and somebody should be willing to pay money for that. So this part you have to keep in mind. Now coming to the second part, the money part. Now here also, I have seen that vis-a-vis freshers, I think experienced professionals, they are at an advantage compared to freshers, definitely. Because they have their networks, they know people. And in fact, many of them, I have seen that before they actually jump out and start something, they would have figured out some way that who is going to fund that from their network, from their, from angels, from VCs, Ps, at least some work would have been done before that. So it's easier because obviously you are well known in the market. People know that you are a senior professional, you are working for a good company. So obviously your ability to raise capital is much, much higher. And that's where it works towards your advantage. And I very strongly advise people that fix this part, the money part, before you actually jump out of your company, jump out of your job. Because once you are out, then as I said earlier, then you are nobody. Till the time you have that chair, people will talk to you, people will respect you. And use that chair to your advantage and try to organize some money at least, some funding at least for your startup, before you actually decide to quit and move out of your job. This is the best strategy to take. Now, third, the organization building part. Here also, I think experienced professionals are at an advantage because they have a much bigger network of professionals. Many people would have worked with them in the past, and normally if you have raised some decent money, they would be willing to come with you. And if you plan things properly, this is also one part which can be sorted out. And plus, because you have worked in an organization for so many years, you understand the organization building process, the brand building process. So that's why it's easier for you to work on these aspects. So that's the reason, if you are conscious about this whole process and if you have fixed some of these things before you actually move out of your job, and here also, your first team, you should recruit before moving out of your job. In fact, I had done that. Before quitting my first job, in the last month itself, I had at least my first team recruited. And when I moved to my first startup, on the first day itself, I had my whole team in place. That's a very good strategy to follow, and I would strongly advise you to do that. So you have seen that if you really look at the three problems that I spoke about in the beginning for experienced professionals, of not getting to earn the salary which they were earning earlier, not having that support system which typically you get in the corporate world, and not having the power of chair. These are much bigger problems for them. So it's the product, the money part, and the team building or organization building part is still manageable. But most of the people I have seen not becoming successful or going back to the corporate world, they typically do it because of the earlier three problems that I spoke about. And frankly speaking, in fact, 90% of the people within 2 years, they go back to their corporate jobs. That is again my experience. First 6 months, almost 70% of the people. First 1 year, 80-85%, and 1.5 years, 90%. That's how typically it works. So it's only those 10-15% people who have this power to stay in the game and who have done the other three part of idea converting into a business, fixing money part and fixing the team part well, they finally become successful. So I'm sure you would have found this video useful, both the first part and the second part. First part where I spoke about the freshers getting into their entrepreneurship journey, and in the second part, experienced professionals getting into their entrepreneurship journey. So if you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with family and friends. And if you have any suggestions, any ideas, put them in the comment section and I'll answer them personally. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, do consider subscribing, because I keep posting such useful videos which you can use for your career growth, career enhancement. So now I'll see you in the next video. Till then, thank you very much for watching.